The way Attack on Titan makes you suffer is through the power of positivity. I'm not joking. With the second half of Attack on Titan's final season soon to be upon us, I decided to go back to when things were different, back to when it was just a simple show about killing titans, back to season 1. How does Attack on Titan create emotions? Or more specifically, how does Attack on Titan make the viewer suffer as much as possible? This show is gut-wrenching to watch and is definitely not for the faint of heart. But at the same time, it's not just senseless violence either. I could watch something that's extremely action-packed and violent and yet feel nothing because I just don't care about any of it. Attack on Titan, on the other hand, is an emotional roller coaster. At times, it makes you feel pure horror or punches you in the gut in a way that just leaves you in tears, and at other times, it just grabs you by the hand and lifts you up, leaving you with a feeling of hope and exhilaration. And the thing is, this isn't actually that difficult to do. When it comes to storytelling, there are only two real emotions: pleasure and pain, positivity and negativity, light and dark, yin and yang, and so on. All the other emotions like joy, sadness, and disgust are really just byproducts of that, and you don't really need to focus that much on them since they always come naturally anyways. But by doing something as simple as focusing on the contrast between pleasure and pain, stories can create huge emotional moments so long as they have the right foundations. And Attack on Titan just does this so well. Which seems strange considering that most of the series' most iconic and memorable moments are negative ones, but if you go back to watch these scenes again, you can easily see how it contrasts between positivity and negativity. Every time there is a big negative moment, there is always a moment of positivity that happens right before it to make it feel that much sadder. And the contrast between these emotions are what make you really feel it. As an example, let's go back to what is possibly the most iconic moment in the entire show: the death of Eren's mom. The scene starts with the Colossal Titan appearing, which breaks the wall and lets the Titans come and overrun the city and eat people. This shifts us towards the negative. Then as Eren and Mikasa run towards their house, notice Eren's internal dialogue. He is convincing himself that she'll be okay. This shifts us towards the positive. But of course, when he does get there, it's not okay. We move back towards the negative again as we realize that Eren's mom is trapped underneath the rubble of their house. They try and fail to get her out, and to make matters worse, there's a Titan that's walking directly towards them. But then Hans arrives and it becomes positive again. Everything will be okay now. All he needs to do is just kill the Titan and save everyone. He runs towards the Titan, ready to fight. And he stops. He takes one good look at the Titan and is frozen in fear. And as it turns negative again, he makes a decision. He runs. He forcefully grabs Eren and Mikasa, leaving Eren's mom behind just like she asked him to. Eren's mom tells them to survive, and what do we see? A flash of everyone living together happily. A peaceful moment. And then we're brought back to reality, and Eren's mom truly realizes that her fate has been sealed. She whispers not to leave her, because she's scared too, and right in front of young Eren's eyes, the Titan picks her up and eats her. What a moment. Another one of my favorite examples of this is the scene where Armin is trying to convince the military to not blow them up. Now on the surface, all that's technically happening is that two people are shouting and screaming at each other while everyone else watches. But because the stakes are huge, the conflict is clear, and the amazing animation, composition, voice acting, music, and most importantly, the fact that it is crystal clear when they are winning or losing, it becomes just as intense and exciting as the rest of the action scenes. That is an amazing accomplishment, especially considering that technically speaking, there is no real action happening during this scene. Attack on Titan, and all good stories as a matter of fact, are doing this sort of thing constantly. But it doesn't just do it on a smaller moments by moment case. The same thing also happens on a much larger scale. Right before the beginning of the Fall of Shinganshina arc, which to this day is still probably one of the darkest arcs in Attack on Titan, we have the military training arc. A sort of mini arc where we get to meet a bunch of these new characters and just kind of get to know them a little. Most of the time spent here is fairly lighthearted, and it makes room for things such as character banter and jokes. These episodes, unlike the first episode, continually ends on a positive and victorious note. And considering what just came before it and what's soon to come after it, it is very much needed. When we do get to the Fall of Shinganshina arc, it doesn't get dark instantly. For the majority of episode 5, while it isn't exactly lighthearted, the characters still have a positive and upbeat attitude towards everything. Eren's making motivational speeches, everyone's getting hyped up, we learn a little bit more about the Titans, and characters even start talking about competing for who could kill the most Titans. And then this happens. The mood switches instantly. Character after character gets absolutely decimated by the Titans. People are dying everywhere. Eren loses his leg, and Armin is barely able to move even after a Titan picks him up to eat him. And right as we think that all is lost, we get this. We go back to Eren, who has a flashback to when they were kids. And Armin goes up to him and just talks passionately about the outside world, about the ocean and how he wants to see it someday, how he will see it someday. We come back to the present, and Eren stands up. He goes into the Titan's mouth, grabs Armin and saves him. And then notice Eren's dialogue here. Of course, that's where the episode ends. But so far in most of these examples, the positive moments have been there to emphasize the negative ones. But there are also many moments when Attack on Titan does the exact opposite. The second part of the Shinganshina arc is much more hopeful than the first part because we feel like there's an actual chance here. In the first part, we were just hoping that the characters would make it out alive, and we never really thought about how we would be able to fight back against the Titans. But now, things are different. As Eren carries the boulder towards the hole in the wall, people are dying everywhere. Titans swarm all over the place blocking Eren, and he's barely able to even carry the rock. But he presses on. It really puts emphasis on how just to fight back and regain humanity's freedom, they are losing more and more people. But then, Eren makes it. This moment is monumental. The pure feeling of satisfaction and relief. This is their first real victory against the Titans, and for the first time in a while, the characters get to experience joy and happiness again. It's a wonderful moment, which becomes especially satisfying considering this is what came before it. In Attack on Titan, because of the negative moments that came before, it makes the positive moments shine so much brighter, even if they're short-lived. Sorry, Marker. Again, this happens constantly. After Mikasa thinks that Eren is dead and is ready to give up, she finds hope again and decides to keep going anyways. After the first episode where Titans overrun the city, we get this moment where Eren, Mikasa, and Armin all decide to join the military together. Right after a chaotic moment where Eren kills these people to save Mikasa, we get this genuinely sweet moment where Eren comforts Mikasa and she realizes that she has a new home now. Over and over and over again. Attack on Titan is a very dark show, but that doesn't mean that everything that happens in it has to be dark. This world can be beautiful too, or as Mikasa herself puts it, this cruel beautiful world. Attack on Titan creates emotions through contrast. By creating positive moments before negative ones, it makes the negative ones feel truly impactful. And by having negative moments right before the positive ones, it makes the positive moments shine so much brighter. This contrast is something that all great stories use, what all great stories need to use. It's a simple concept, but without it, I'd feel nothing. That's how powerful it is. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like these, then hey, you're completely free to hit the subscribe button right down below. My name is Brandon Riley, and that is how Attack on Titan makes you suffer through the power of positivity. Thanks for watching. Also this.